Hello viewers, I am Mr. Dilip Kumar Pal. Stands before you with a very important topic, that is global economy. So far as global economy is concerned, we'll discuss mainly 6 aspects of global economy, like meaning of global economy, then its features, then development, then causes of global crisis, merits of global economy, and demerits of global economy. And this video is very much important for +3 4th semester political science honors, and it is also very important for those students who are interested to appear competitive examinations. Before we discuss global economy, I request my viewers to watch this video attentively till the end, so your idea about global economy will be very much clear. And my channel is an academic channel. Here, political science notes of +2 first year, +2 second year, +3 first semester, +3 second semester, +3 third semester, and +3 fourth semester notes are available in my channel. And in future, political science notes of 5th semester and 6th semester will be loaded sooner. And I request my viewers, just write my name Dilip Kumar Pal and the name of the topic in the YouTube videos will be in your hand. I request my viewers to subscribe my channel and request your friends also to subscribe my channel, so many of students will be benefited. At least 4 students will be benefited. So let us start. What is global economy? The world where we are inhabiting is a changing world. It is changing from time to time. New ideas are coming up and old ideas are going away, because the world is a changing world. So, global economy has replaced the national economy. Global economy is a new concept. Previously there was national economy, now there is global economy. So global economy is a result of the changing situation of the world. What is a global economy? In order to be clear about the meaning of global economy, a person must be clear about the meaning of international economy. Unless a person is clear what is international economy, he cannot be clear about the meaning of global economy. International economy means whenever a nation will have trade relationship with one or a few nations, it is international economy. But whenever a nation will have a relationship with all nations of the globe, it is known as global economy. Global economy means the economy of a country will be interlinked with the nations of the world. So whenever there will be any change in the economy of a country, it will affect to all nations. For example, if you throw a stone to a pond, immediately water waves will move away. If you throw a stone to the pond, the effect will be felt in the entire pond. In a similar manner, global economy means the economies of all world will be interlinked, and if there will be change in the economy of one world, it will affect to all. It is known as the global economy. And global economy has mainly 4 features, like globalization, number 2, international trade, number 3, global investment, and number 4, international finance. The first feature of global economy is globalization. Globalization is the main feature of global economy. Globalization means the economy of a country, its region, its culture, its trade will be linked with all the nations of the world. A nation will be linked with all nations. It is globalization. In globalization, all nations will be interlinked. There will be no restriction on trade. There will be free trade. There will be no restriction in the movement of workers, in the movement of people. So, globalization means the world will be made boundaryless. World will be made a single village. So, the first feature of global economy is globalization. In global economy, all nations will be interlinked. Number 2, there will be international trade. In global economy, there will be free trade. Every nation will have trade relationship with other nations. Every nation can make trade relations with other nations. Every nation can export to other countries what it has access. And every country can import from other country what it lacks. There will be international trade. There will be free trade. Every country is free to make trade with any country. And number 3, global investment. In global economy, every country can make investment in other nations where it will get more profit. In the field of global investment, national boundary will not be a restriction. Every country, every multinational companies, every transnational corporations can invest money in different areas. There will be no restriction for them. No nation can object. Finally, international finance. In global economy, there will be availability of international finance. A country can take short-term, long-term loan from other nations, international banks, and international organizations. So, we are clear. What is a global economy? How it is different from international economy? And what are the main features of the global economy? Okay, and viewers, then we will discuss how global economy has come to scene. Previously, there was national economy, not global economy. But how global economy came to scene? Global economy came to scene when economic liberalization started. Economic liberalization means when a country will not have restriction on trade. Economic liberalization means whenever a country will abolish all type of restrictions from trade, there will be free trade. It is economic liberalization. So global economy started or developed slowly by the popularization of economic liberalization. So the first step in this context was Truman Doctrine, which came into scene on 12th March 1947. On the basis of it, America wanted to give help to Germany and Greece so that they will not go to communist fold. Again, Marshall Plan on 5th June 1947, again, America wanted to help all European nations financially so that they will not go to the communist bloc. So, as a reaction against the step of America, Russia also introduced Molotov Plan of 1947. On the basis of Molotov Plan, Russia also started to give help to its allies so that they will not go to American fold. After that, economic liberalization was accelerated by Bretton Woods Conference held in 1944, where IBRD, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, IMF, International Monetary Fund, came to scene. They started to give monetary help to underdeveloped and poor nations and developing nations. Again, IFC, International Finance Corporation, came into scene in 1956. IDA, International Development Association, came to scene in 1960. Then GATT, General Agreement on Trade and Tariff, which was held in 30th October 1947 in Geneva, where 23 nations attended, and it came into force in 1948. It was another initiative. Then WTO, it was formed in 1995. Then President of Russia, Mikhail Gorbachev, introduced Perestroika, economic reforms in Russia. So, global economy came to scene not abruptly, all of a sudden. It came into scene with various steps, and these were the steps. Okay, viewers, now discuss what are the causes of global economic crisis. Just like every individual faces some crisis, every individual faces some crisis, every organization faces some crisis. Sometimes global economy also faces some crisis. And there are three main reasons for the crisis of the global economy. The first reason for the crisis in global economy is the subprime as a factor. Subprime as a factor means subprime is different from prime. Sometimes international banks, nations, multinational corporations give loan to nations in average rate. It is prime rate. And sometimes international corporations, international banking institutions provide money at higher rate of interest by taking risks to poor nations or economically backward nations. So, subprime as a factor means sometimes international banks, international finance institutions give loan to poor nations with risk by taking high rate of interest. And sometimes they are unable to get their money. So whenever the international banks, international corporations, advanced nations will give money at high rate of interest by taking risks to poor nations, and whenever these poor nations will be unable to give their money, they return their money, at the time these institutions who have given money, they will become bankrupt. So when they will become bankrupt, it will be a crisis for the global economy. So this is the first factor. So the first factor of the crisis in global economy is the subprime factor. Number two, live according to means as a factor. Live according to means as a factor. It means just as every person will have to live on the basis of his means. If he will spend more than his earning, he will become bankrupt. In a similar manner, sometimes nations will borrow more money beyond their capability. When nations will borrow money beyond their capability and they will be unable to return their money, they will become bankrupt. And the institutions which have given them money, they will also will become bankrupt. So when nations which have given money to backward nations in terms of loan will be unable to get money, they will become bankrupt. And those nations who have taken money, they will be unable to give return money, they will also bankrupt. They will become bankrupt. At the time, it will be crisis for the global economy. Finally, natural resource as a factor. Natural resources are limited, but every country will have to have it. Otherwise, a country cannot exist. For example, petroleum, diesel, trees, they are limited. Every country will have to have them. And in order to have them, if required, they will have to give more money. And whenever nations will give more money to obtain natural resources, at the time they will be under pressure. Even there is chance that they will become bankrupt. And whenever nations will become bankrupt, it will affect the global economy. Okay, viewers? So till now we have discussed what is global economy, how it is different from international economy. We have discussed what are the features of global economy. Then we have discussed how global economy has came to scene. And now we have discussed what are the factors for the global crisis. Now we'll discuss two more important aspects: merits of global economy and demerits of global economy. So if all the nations of the world will be interconnected, what will be the benefits? The first benefit is cheaper and quality products. If economy of all nations will be interconnected, there will be competition among nations, and in the competition they will try to produce cheaper commodity and quality commodity so that their commodity will be demanded. So whenever there will be global economy, there will be competition among nations. So automatically cheaper and better quality commodities will be available. So consumer will be benefited. And number two, proportional development of world. By global economy, there will be proportional development of the world. In the global economy, rich nations will invest their money in poor nations. So simultaneously, rich nations' money will be utilized and there will be development of the poor nations. So there will be proportional development of the world. Both rich nations and poor nations will develop. And number three, promotion of international trade. In global economy, every country will have trade relationship with other nations. So what it will have shortage, it can obtain from other nations, and what it has access, it can export to other nations. There will be international trade. Every country will be in a better condition. Now four, world peace. In globalization, there will be world peace, because there will be movement of workers, movement of people, movement of corporations to different world. So enmity among different nations will come down. Next, creation of employment. In global economy, more and more industry will be established. Multinational companies, transnational companies will establish their farms, factories. So gradually people will get employment. Employment problem will be over. Then uniform standard of goods. In global economy, multinational companies, transnational companies will establish their factories in different part of the world. So in the entire world, one type of commodities will be available. What is available in Bombay, it will be available in New York. So there will be uniform standard of goods. Everywhere, everything will be available. Finally, there are some demerits of global economy. What demerits it has? Model of humanism. In global economy, there will be stiff competition among undertakings. All undertakings will try to maximize their profit. and they will ignore human feelings. People will force to work. Work, work, work. Profit, profit, profit will be the only slogan. So humanity will not be considered. People will be forced to work. There will be no sympathy for the workers. Number two, non-colonial, new colonialism. In globalization, there will be new colonialism. Because multinational companies, transnational companies will establish factories in different nations. So whenever the multinational company and transnational companies will establish factories in different nations, automatically they will interfere in their economic affairs. So the multinational companies and transnational companies will control different nations from their headquarters. It is new colonialism. A country will not have any freedom. In its affairs, multinational companies will interfere. Number three, widening gap between rich and poor nations. Rich and poor nations. In global economy, there will be competition among rich and poor nations. So, poor nations cannot compete with rich nations. So, they will be out of competitions. So, rich nations will become richer and poor nations will become poorer. Environment pollution. In global economy, there will be competition among organizations. Environment will be polluted, industries will be established, forests will be destroyed, only industries will be established. So, environment will not be taken into consideration. Only factories will compete with one another for profit. Environment will be secondary. So, environment will be polluted. Then, decline power of state. In global economy, large organizations, multinational organizations, transnational organizations will establish factory in other nations, and automatically they will interfere in the function of state. So, states will lose their power. Finally, erosion of democracy. In global economy, multinational companies, transnational companies, other large organizations will establish their factories in different nations. So, the organization will interfere in the affairs of the country, they will interfere in the affairs of people, they will interfere in the affairs of various organizations. So, people will be under pressure, country will be under pressure, organization will be under pressure. Democracy will be no more there. So, in this vital video, we have discussed about global economy. I request my viewers to watch this video till the end, so your doubt on global economy will be completed, will be clear. I request my viewers to recommend your friends to subscribe my channel. So many of the students who are unable to purchase books, they will be benefited. Just write my name, Dilip Kumar Pal, and the topic videos will be available. Thank you, viewers. Again, we will be here in this academic channel in future. Till now, goodbye to all.